Hey everybody, welcome to Total Dragon, a place where we reread and review Erik Larsen's masterpiece, Savage Dragon. Today we're going to be looking at issue 4. Issue 4. So let's go ahead and get right to it. First thing we're going to see on the cover is everybody is armed. We've got Barbaric wearing a police uniform. Dark's got a huge gun. Dragon's fixing ready to throw some haymakers, so this is letting us know we're going to have some action right here. We've got the introduction to the credits page right here, the creative team, and for some reason everybody is squeaky on this issue. I wonder what the joke is behind that. Everybody is squeaky, even Squeaky Lee, Squeaky Suppley, Squeaky Jordan. Got to be some kind of insider's joke. So we'll go ahead and get to the story here. Last issue, we were leading up to the reveal of what was in the basement in Indiana. So the cops finally came to the scene. They found the two bodies of the two people that had killed themselves. They had been sitting there for a while. They pretty gamey at this point. You can see a lot of flies and stuff flying around them. So Dragons showed up. Apparently he's been contacted and he comes to see what's the deal with this situation here. So finally, after all this time, we're going to see what is in the basement. Then turn the page for the big reveal. And it's a chained up lizard girl. That's not nearly as gnarly as what we were thinking it was going to be. This dragon goes down. Checks on her, see how she's doing. Barely alive, almost starved to death. She's been there God knows how long. No one's been there to feed her. So Dragon tells everybody that she's harmless. And he's going to be the one to save the day. Dragon is always the guy. He's rescuing the damsels in distress, it seems like. So now we'll flip back to Chicago. We've got Frank, and we all know about the situation that he's been having about being blackmailed by the Vicious Circle for being involved with Dragon coming to the police force, and it looks like it's finally starting to come to a head. Frank's pregnant wife got shoved down the escalator at the mall, and he knows that that's Vicious Circle's doing right there. So he knows that this isn't going to last long. This charade's almost over. Everything's going to come to the light soon. So Dragon has bought back the lizard girl, brought her back to the precinct. She's chowing down on some KFC here. And the captain, he's really excited about her. Head over heels. He wants to put her on his little team. Going to have some more super cops here in Chicago. Dragon won't be the only one. He's excited to get her on the team, and maybe a little bit excited. She's a blank slate. A great opportunity for us. With her permission, of course. We can be strong persuaders, as you know. So that doesn't sound too good. It's not like she has a whole lot of choice in the situation. Dragon didn't either, and we see how that worked out for him. So now we meet a character that Dragon ran into a couple issues ago, a hostage he saved, and she been nonstop calling the police force, wanting to talk to him. She kind of got like a little thing for Dragon because he rescued her. And this is another instance of One of Eric Larson's women looking like Mary Jane Watson. Long flowing red hair, curly, kind of got the same physique that Mary Jane has. Dragon is letting her know that, hey, this isn't very safe. I'm not a very safe person to be around. People tend to die. She says, hey, some things are worth risking. Some risks are worth taking. I am. So now we flip over here to the next page. Captain is pitching his idea about his new super team pretty hard to Dart and Savage Dragon, wanting to know that since Dart had a run-in with Mighty Man, that maybe he could get him on the team. And we see Frank, judging by his facial expression right there, he hates this whole idea because he knows it's going to put more pressure on him. Dragon's super skeptical about the fact that Mighty Man's back. Cop runs in, says we've got some type of fight going on. Dragon and Dart to the rescue here. They come to see what the deal is. And then we've got Barbaric and Ricochet right here fighting some type of huge sponge-looking guy. I like Barbaric. He's a pretty cool-looking character. A big, fuzzy red creature with long blonde hair, 2 ponytails. Just a huge, huge type of character. So they're battling it out. This type of sponge thing has some type of projectile ability. Spit some barf or something like that on Dragon. Dart keeps throwing darts at him, turning this guy into a pincushion. All these little thoughts right here. That's Dart just lighting him up. Character's name is Cesspool. He tells Dart that she's pretty ineffective. She can't do anything to hurt him. And I guess she ends up throwing 1 dart too many. So he kind of blows up or explodes or whatever from all those darts in him. And so previously Dragon had mentioned to Barbaric and Ricochet about joining the police force. And now it's looked like he's officially offering them a chance. The captain's super excited to have him on here. Very into bringing all these people on. It's funny because he'll take the lizard girl, who we later find out whose name is Heridius, I believe it is. We'll take her after she was chained in the basement. We'll take Dragon as an amnesiac, but Ricochet, you got to be old enough. Even though she's really willing and can pass tests, background checks and everything, but you better be old enough. So that kind of pisses her off a little bit. So she storms off. Then this last page, or last couple panels right here, we see that old lady who had been calling the police force, thinking that her son, the punk rocker with the green mohawk by the name of Rodney, is really Savage Dragon. So these 2-3 panels right here show her heading to Chicago to meet him. So that's a quick wrap up of this issue. Really, in this issue so far, what we saw from is them getting members for this team that the police captain wants to put together. So Dragon's not the only superpowered guy on the force. And we've got a flip book scenario here. So we'll spin it around. Rapture and Ricochet. So this is the second part of this, and we'll see a familiar name right here. Penciled by Adam Hughes. Now, Adam Hughes, a lot of people might know as the guy who really got noticed by doing some really cool, I guess the term would be cheesecake. I'm not sure if that's the, appropriate or not, but that's kind of what I think it is. Cheesecake, good girl art for covers. So basically all he does now is covers instead of doing insides. This is some of his early work where he's doing interiors. Apparently this story picks up where the Savage Dragon part left off. Ricochet's went out on her own. We meet Rapture here. And we learn that she is a prostitute. And she's in the process right now of kind of telling her pimp, we're sick of the way that you treat us. And you're about to get, I'm about to get a little bit of payback from the way you've been acting. So then we have a little bit of classic superhero stuff here. One superhero jumps in to intervene with another one, disagreeing with the methods that she's using. Rapture's throwing electricity. We see that's what her power is. Able to use electricity projected as lightning bolts or whatever. Ricochet and Rapture kind of have a brief little fight. While he was getting ignored, Rapture's pimp gets his hands back on the pistol he had, pulls it on her. Pulls the trigger, shoots her, kind of grazes her and just pisses her off. You can see the effects right here around her hands, that crackling of electricity. She's coming to finish him off. And then Ricochet kind of just basically tells him, you're better than this. You don't need to do this. And then Rapture gives him the classic, he's a creep. He's murdered before, he'll do it again. I can't let him live. Ricochet jumps out to stop her. They're kind of having a little heart-to-heart. Rapture has a change of mind. Giving the pimp long enough to get his hands on that gun again. Ricochet dives in the middle. Dives into him. And somehow or another, I'm not sure how this happens. His head ends up getting blowed off. So she kills him, I guess just by electrocuting him in the feet, perhaps. In any case, he's dead now, and Rapture is heading off to join the rest of the team, which will come to be known as Freak Force. This will be the first spin-off of Erik Larsen's universe, Savage Dragon universe. We've got a couple other upcoming things here. Vanguard, Super Patriot miniseries. Now this right here, for anyone that's interested, if you ever really want to see a really cool footnote in comic book history, you can YouTube this debate. I believe it's out there. And what the whole gist of it was Peter David had been super critical of Image guys, being more style than substance or what have you. And Todd McFarlane said, put your money where your mouth is. So they end up having a one-on-one debate. The results are online. There's a bunch of different articles out there about it. So it's a really cool footnote in comic book history. Peter David, the consummate writer versus Todd McFarlane, a guy who got noticed just for art and basically had books handed to him. So it's a pretty cool story. Peter David has a series of articles he wrote called But I Digress, in which he talks about it if you ever want to look that up as well. But a little bit of comic book history right here. So now we'll get to the letters page. And again, we've got these little quick questions. What are Dart's powers? She's extremely agile, knows martial arts, and can throw darts. Pretty self-explanatory right there. That's the stuff we've all gathered. A lot of these answers only time will tell. And now, for the big letter from this letters page is a couple issues ago, Erik Larsen had that create a character contest. And like I said back then, they never turn out well. And here's a prime example of why they don't turn out well. My entry was returned before the deadline, this guy's saying. How is it possible for me to compete against entries not received by you? And you keep the character description? I don't think so, buddy boy. So this guy's super pissed off, basically. He even gives Larsen his work fax number. Erik Larsen tells him, this character contest and was and is, all the mail hasn't been gone through yet, was judged Star Search style. Nearly 20,000 entries. See, this is why you don't have this stuff. There's always controversy involved. People learn their lesson. Here's a couple more letters. And here's a letter from professional letter writer Olaf Beamer, who I actually had the pleasure of meeting at New York Comic Con last year. He was in the line for Chris Claremont, and I saw he had left a business card, and we headed to Fabian. I headed to Fabian Niciza's line next, and I had to ask him. I said, "Man, I saw that card you left. Are you the Olaf Beamer?" And he said he was, and I was actually kind of more excited to meet him than I was to meet Fabian. So it was really cool to see somebody that had written a ton of letters and has a name that's really memorable. It's really memorable. Olaf Beamer from the Netherlands. So that's this issue. Basically, just another issue of them putting the team together, trying to get Dragon some more help to battle the freaks of Chicago, the Vicious Circle. The Vicious Circle is tightening around Frank, so that's all about to come to a head soon. So more groundwork being laid in this issue. Look forward to the next issue, be issue number 5. So that's it for tonight, and that's a wrap. And until next time, later.